Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Disco Elysium. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as I go back to the Whirling in Rags, because we are going to talk to Lena. I had forgotten that Kim doesn't want us talking to her, and so I'm doing a bunch of things that Kim doesn't want us doing, like checking on cryptid traps. We're going to do that in a little, but it's related to what we're doing right now. Are you fellas still here? Yeah, it's a good hour. It's a good hour to be here. But yeah, we're coming here to talk to Lena because we talked to her husband. We found him out in the middle of the reeds, and everyone is here. So, hi.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
She sounds glad to see you. I'd really like to hear more about cryptids.
Of course, dear. Is there a particular cryptid that you're interested in learning about?
Yes, what is the tiniest cryptid?
Cryobacter catlensis.
She answers immediately. Cryobacter catlensis.
Yes, a unicellular bacterium that was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Kotla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago.
What's so special about it?
The bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate, certainly from before recorded history. Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study, no doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life.
Wait, she injected herself with it?
Yes. The bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea.
You mean there's an immortal geologist wandering the world?
Yes, and she's quite mad, too. After she treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible, so that even her oldest friends were forced to pull away. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now, all alone except for the Cryobacter catlensis coursing through her bloodstream.
What's the most dangerous cryptid?
The gnome of Jeroma.
The gnome of Jeroma? That doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, it is. None of his victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue. What
did this cryptid look like?
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and an ungainly little thing. Quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it.
She looks at you, her voice grave, suddenly.
It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die.
Are there any photos of it?
Alas, no. And the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
She says, mostly to herself.
Alas, always alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly convenient?
It's good. Convenient is a good thing. Logic. You don't understand. It was a perfectly good explanation. Stop being so skeptical.
Sure. A perfectly good explanation. It dissolved in its own venom. Go on then. Ask about more gnomes or whatever.
Are there any invisible cryptids?
What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are.
What's that?
The Coldamama Dakwa, or thin whisper of sound. And that's precisely what it seems to be. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. It's very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
What does it, sound like?
Like nothing. It's such a high-pitched sound that us humans can't hear it, nor can other animals. It could be ringing right outside your window and you wouldn't even know it. Could be anywhere. everywhere even.
But how can an animal be a sound?
Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory.
Could it be here? I'm gonna look around. Right now?
It could be.
She says calmly.
As I said, it could be everywhere. And we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights.
What evidence is there of this animal being a sound?
Plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery. In the 1920s, a group of Areopagite ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds, were trying out a new recording technology for capturing sounds outside the range of human hearing. When playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the Ea mountain range, they noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but on closer examination were consistent with the waveforms of songbirds.
Songbirds.
The scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what appeared to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on sound waves in a strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies, even higher than those of the highest-pitched bat calls.
She transforms, when speaking about these strange animals, into a confident woman.
I also am about to break through with my thought about the armor, so that's pretty great.
They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the Coldamamadaqua, after the Paracanassian name for the voice of God, which is said to be very silent.
Wow.
They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they couldn't see them, they could distinguish among individual birds and
She smiles.
even began to name some of them.
Name them?
Sequester, Time, Joscan.
She nods.
Those are but some of the Mamadaqua they followed individually.
Why is the Mama Dakwa so afraid of us?
That is a sad story.
She frowns.
A group of university students assisting with the field work in their enthusiasm for the project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with impressing their professors, nearly drove it to extinction.
Extinction? She nods gravely.
They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound. So they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Mamadaqwas. And what happens when a sound wave meets another sound wave of the same frequency, dear?
This lady really should be a teacher. She's really good at the explaining things thing.
They cancel each other out. It's not quite how that works, but it's a simplification. Because you need to send them, if they're opposite of each other and they are at the same frequency, they do cancel each other out, yes.
Exactly. And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population. After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. There have been recordings of anomalies similar to those spotted in Ea, but they've been few and far between. It's impossible to confirm the presence of any stable Coldamamadaqua population anywhere.
Interesting. What about...
What about what?
She smiles gently. Man, I just can't get enough of these cryptids. She grins.
I'm glad you like them, but I'm not really one to tell you about all of them. You should ask my husband if you get the chance. He's the real expert.
You never told me you've seen the phasmid.
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramblings.
No, I really want to.
Well, it was summer.
She starts.
I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden...
Wait, where was this and how old were you?
I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 5.5 in Betancourt in the suburbs. My grandmother had a summer home there.
What happened?
The strangest moment of my life. I looked up and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy. I've never seen anything like it.
It's one of the most memorable lines for me in this game. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. Because plants are dead. They're not living. Plants don't live. No, they're dead. All of them.
I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me.
She looks at you.
After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds.
So, it towered above her. It doesn't fit in the traps that Morel is putting down. And he knows it doesn't fit. Did you follow it?
I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there knee-deep in mud, looking around me.
Then what?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me.
She chuckles.
Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing.
She brushes her hair back.
Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel. We were on our first date when I told him my story. You should have seen his face.
She smiles.
He said my descriptions matched the phasmid down to a T. Its white marble limbs, the way it moved.
So that's how they met. This is beyond significant for them.
You were on a date?
Our first, yes.
The old woman sighs tenderly.
The sigh is tender, yes, but tempered by something else. A thought she can't express. Interesting.
Its limbs are white?
Not all of them, as far as I remember. Some of them, on the inside like stalks of marble, if that makes sense.
How big was it?
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I was then, but that's probably not the case.
Maybe you imagined it, Lena?
Of course. I've thought about it. But Morel says my report matches with the others. And I'm sure I hadn't heard of the phasmid as a child. Nor had my mother or my grandmother. So how did I know what to imagine? It was only when I started telling my story as a teenager that boys would tell me, Lena,
She lowers her voice, imitating a boy.
you trying to tell us you saw the Incidentally phasmid out there in those reeds? Get out of here.
She smiles.
They just give me a cider and ruffle my hair and tell me to stop dreaming. But I saw it.
Thank you for sharing this with me.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just
She sighs.
such an impossibly sunshiny day. So warm.
Yeah, I ran into your husband on the coast.
Goodness, how is he? Did he say why he hasn't returned yet?
The old woman clasps her hands together over her blanket. He's fine, ma'am. As I had suspected, he couldn't get back earlier because the water lock on the canal was broken. Now he's just finishing up some work.
Oh, yes. That's my Morel. He's bound to catch a cold staying out there for so long. But I am so relieved to hear that he's okay. Thank you for putting an old woman's heart at ease, if even a little.
You haven't, however. There are dangers out there. Our aging body's foul. Her heart won't rest until Morel is safely back with her.
That's all for now, ma'am.
Fairweather T500. Remember that weakness you were looking for in the ceramic armor? Like Maybe it can only stop small, fast projectiles, but a large, slow-moving pry bar would shatter it. Or, if I run an electrical current through it, maybe it will melt. Or, personal favorite, frequency something something radio weapon. None of that would work. You need to shoot the part of the enemy that doesn't have Fairweather T500 on it, because the armor itself is invulnerable. Good news is, so are the armor pieces on you.
That is good news, yes. And then we have that thought. I think we can forget. Yeah, we can definitely forget. We don't want to forget. Do I want to forget any one of these? I do spend skill points to forget them. Nah, so for right now I don't. I'm good. Did I talk to you before? Because of the, you know, how bad everything is here?
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives...
Yes, he's okay. Okay, so let's go back to Morel and ask him... Ooh.
Was that? Could it be the Mama Dakwa? No, it's probably just your imagination ringing in your ear.
What? Is it? Is there a ringing? I'm gonna listen more closely.
There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles your ear. Lena also said that it couldn't be heard by any other animal, including humans. What you're hearing must just be a regular bird. Honestly, your ear isn't hearing a whole lot. The distant hum of the industrial harbor, the traffic. But, admittedly, there is a high-pitched noise somewhere there too. But then, isn't there always?
Yeah, I'm gonna listen closely first.
There it is again. You're about to rediscover a long-lost species. Yeah, but how are you going to catch it?
I'm gonna keep listening.
It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe, it will come toward you. Keep still. It might perch on your shoulder. What are you doing? You're a police officer, not a pansy ornithologist. The only birds you should be looking for are healthy women of childbearing age.
Hold very still and hope the bird comes to perch on my shoulder.
Oh no. The sound. It's moving away. Somewhere over there. Go after it. No. Too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore. Just the sound of the streets.
No, come back, please.
Keep your ears peeled, then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again.
And we have a new thought. A new possible thought. Called Mama Dakwa. No bonuses. It lasts for a little while. Of course, it's going to cost me another slot over there. You heard it. The mysterious Called Mama Dakwa. You're certain that you did. Well, maybe not quite certain, but let's say you're hopeful, because it would make you very special to be the only human being who can hear this invisible incorporeal bird, this animate whisper, this particle of sound. You're going to have to keep listening. Sharpen your ear. This sounds like something I would do. Let's unlock this. Let's internalize that. 7 hours, no temporary research bonus. Let's do it. Wow. We're gonna find the Called Mama Dakwa. Unbelievable. I'm using that word on purpose, by the way. Yeah, we need to inspect the traps, but more than anything, as I was saying, we need to talk to Morel, and maybe the cryptozoologist too. In fact, I'm going to talk to the cryptozoologist. The crypto-fascist is what I mean to say. I'm going to talk to the crypto-fascist before. Well, and also, since I'm here, I'm going to check on that trap over there. Let's hope that I don't see anything else. I really hope I don't. What is this? A breaker box to power the radio pylon above you. Maybe there's something inside. Ooh, really? Yeah, money. There's money inside. Don't look.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. Same mesh, same wiring.
I'm gonna look around first, but not over there. No over there.
The reeds bend forlornly toward the water. Some tufts have been crushed. The broken stalks sickly pale against the darkness. In the east, the city center hums to you. The constant, distant song, louder on this part of the coast, nearer somehow. And there's that cold again. Always the cold.
Always the cold, Shivers. My god. I'm gonna reach for the trap.
Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten. You see no carnivorous reed phasmid gorging on them.
Okay. Don't look over there. We don't want to look. I am trying to make sure that I don't indeed look at all. Because that is something that we have to do with Kim. The best line in the game. Possibly one of the best... yeah, probably, definitely one of the best lines in any game. But it is very... There's one particular line in the huge dialogue. But it is very... dependent on... well, not dependent, but it is... it hinges on the characterization of our character, of Kim's character. I didn't mean to do that, actually. Can I reload? No, I cannot. Well, I guess I did that. It's fine. We're probably gonna do something stupid before the end of the day, so it's all good. And we're probably not gonna be able to do moralist things. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, it hinges on the characterization of my character and of Kim, but it also is like a pivotal point in what the game is trying to say about these characters. So it's not just that the game tells us about these characters, it's that the game sort of shifts the theme, and we're gonna see that. We're gonna see that happening. It's nuanced enough that maybe it's easy to miss.
This is the trap Morel just set. Checking it over, he said, is just a technicality. But
I look around.
The reeds hiss and shake in the darkness that has settled over the abandoned camp. It's good the cryptozoologists left. This isn't a very cozy place to stay night after night. The later it gets, the colder. Remnants of the camp can still be seen in the sand. The fire that's gone out. You feel strange, somehow.
Oh, he is gone. I didn't even realize where I was. I'm gonna reach for the trap.
This trap is also full of panicked locusts. No sign of any cryptozoological beast inside.
How did I mess that up? I really thought they would have stayed a little longer. Although, maybe it's because I actually checked the other trap and that's why they left. It's alright. We're gonna talk to them again, I'm pretty sure. In fact, we're gonna talk to them today. No boat in the boathouse today. We have oversized superstar sunglasses for our savoir-faire. There's something that I need to be aware of, which is that there are automatic... Which one is it? All learning caps. Learning caps. Is it jamais vu? All intellect learning caps raised. No. There it is. Succeed all hand-eye coordination checks. All passive ones. So that means that I don't need a hand-eye coordination in my skills, which I don't have. So that's pretty good. Let's look at our newest sunglasses. Are they sunglasses? I don't know. They look sunglassy. They are. Is your own stardom too dazzling for your eyes? Can't bear to look at your own fabulous reflection in the mirror? Then these classic oversized sunglasses are for you. That does reduce our visual calculus a little, because the mirror lies. But it adds to our savoir-faire because of the dazzling reflexes. Nah, just keep it as is. It's gonna be fine. Oh, this is the other trap. Okay. You can see the locusts moving, I think. Let's check this out before we do anything else. The boathouse is shoddily constructed. A strong breeze might blow it over. And a little bit of money. Money everywhere.
This trap's not too hard to spot, once you know what to look for. Keeping it hidden has not been a priority for the cryptozoologist.
I'm gonna look around.
Behind you, the ruins of a residential building rise over the reeds, shielding them from the wind. The reeds rustle confidently. When this district was booming, the reeds were kept at bay. Nothing obscured the freshly painted facades. Nowhere for drunks and adventurous teenagers to hide. Now only the wind blows.
Is that how facades is written in English? I'm pretty sure it isn't. It is how it isn't written in French, though, with a cedille. Because otherwise it's facade rather than facade. Anyway, I'm going to reach for the trap.
Nothing but locusts in this trap as well. Definitely no cryptozoological monstrosity.
And now we need to go to the... Oh. This section of the coast hasn't been used in decades. Used by whom? And for what? What does that mean? That is a puzzling remark. It clearly has been used by the cryptozoologists to hunt for cryptids. That's how it goes. There's other things we should do over here, but it's okay if we have Kim. There's another thing as well that... No, this is not how we get to Land's End. I think it's this way. There's another thing that we should not forget, and I think I'll have time, which is that... no, we might actually not be able to open it. That container that we couldn't open before, that I'm trying to persuade to open itself. Yeah, a new day has passed, so we're definitely going to have a +1. We're going to be able to do it again. And this time I'm going to smoke all the drugs for it, so it's going to be amazing. Hopefully it's going to be amazing. That place is interesting. It's very cool to go in there.
It takes you a moment, but finally you spot the last of Morel's traps. This one's partially obscured by the reeds.
I'm going to look around.
The reeds sway in the coastal breeze. They seem to be waiting for something. The wind picks up here, near the cape's end, surrounding the narrow strip of land from 3 cardinal directions. It's cold for this time of year.
I'm gonna reach for the trap.
The trap feels light and silent as you pick it up. Something is different here.
I'm gonna look closer.
No locust. No phasmid either, but still.
I'm gonna look closer still.
Nothing. No traces of the locust or the Insulindian phasmid. What happened? The netting is a little untidy, messier than the others, like someone or something picked up the trap and shook it before dropping it back down on the ground. The reeds continue to hiss around you as you put the empty trap back on the ground. Time to consult the professionals, Morel and Lena.
Time indeed. And I don't think I can see any cryptids around. I mean, could be anywhere, really. Everywhere, even, as Lena puts it. That's a weird way of saying it as well. Oh, wait. Was there a way to check this?
An old door worn by elements.
No, it's just an interfacing check. Wow, that is an impossible interfacing check. Wow. It was, I mean, we've been lucky with the checks. That last check that we did, I think, was it perception? The one with, you know, I think it was last episode or a couple of episodes back. Where, no, it was composure. That composure check that I went up to 97% chance to succeed. We rolled a 3, which is pretty bad. Pretty bad. Because if we roll a 2, we always fail. It's a critical failure. It always fails. But we rolled a 3, which is about as low as it can get before it actually fails. And it was exactly how many points I had. Yeah, I could have had more points, but it wouldn't have made a difference. But that was lucky. That's what that was. Lucky. And the thing is, we have also been lucky. Didn't we succeed at a 17% check the other day? And I don't remember. It's been this playthrough has been good for me in terms of the checks, I feel. What is that? Nothing. And that's good, because that way we can see all the nice things. Although we are still missing the wall that I believe I never succeeded at in my first playthrough. At least I don't remember. We are still missing of course, the container that we're gonna go to soon. And it's only day 3, so we have plenty of time. Day 4 is the day where the director's cut, or, final cut version of the game, the content from the final cut shows up. So we're doing pretty well. And guess what? They're all here. Are they? Is that, the crypto-fascists? Hey.
Boy, am I ever so grateful to you, officer. But I'm not the only one who wants to thank you.
He nods towards Lena. I'll talk to her then. I'll talk to her in the next episode, though, because an unconfirmed sighting is just a story, says Morel, because we're out of time for the day. So for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Disco Elysium. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.